How you doing, everybody? It's me, the most handsome, and it's update time. At last, I can now confidently say I fully understand the Bedrock update system. You see, Minecraft Bedrock is now 47 updates ahead of Minecraft Java. This latest one is pretty big. Let's take a look. Today, friends, we will take a look at 15 of the biggest updates inside of Minecraft Bedrock 1.19.50. Beginning with the sweet cycle of life right here. This little guy is so small, so bald. The baby villager. There's been an update. When these baby villagers play tag, they're gonna run a little bit faster now, which is something I got wrong. If you hit the baby villager, it'll run the same speed as always. But you wouldn't hit a baby villager. No, never. Instead, what you might end up doing is accidentally, or on purpose, walk into a village with bad omen to check out change number 2. Alright, so once we walk into a village with the bad omen effect, a raid is gonna begin. We know how that works. Now, to check this thing out, you're gonna have to beat waves and waves and waves of raids. Or you could go ahead and begin that raid and then abandon the village entirely. Who cares about villagers anyways? Inside of raids and woodland mansions, you'll find the evoker mob, and when you find the evoker mob, it will summon in Vexes, and oh boy, the Vex is beautiful and it's brand new. That new fresh Vex texture that we were taking a look at a couple weeks ago in the Minecraft Java snapshots, well, it's made its way over to Bedrock Edition in 1.19.50. Now, this new Vex model is going to be exactly the same as it's going to look in Minecraft Java 1.19.3. It's so good. Like, look at this thing. There are so many different lore implications with this new model specifically. It's just like, it's chef's kiss. Perfection. Now, a little fun fact for you about this Vex model, it's actually different than that very first one that you saw in the Minecraft Java snapshots. If you only saw that version, well, this texture, yeah, it's slightly different. They also don't sit in boats or rafts very well on Bedrock Edition. Uh-oh. Moving on. Next up, friends, we will play a little game, a quiz for you. What do farmland blocks, path blocks, soul sand blocks, and mud blocks have in common? Quick, answer fast. What do you think it is? Alright, so for this one, you got 2 possible answers. Answer number 1, well, all of these blocks got an update in 1.19.50. Answer number 2, all of these blocks are not technically normal full solid blocks. Like, you bounce down a little bit, right? Like, slightly less than a solid block. In the case of soul sand and mud, this is monumental. Perfection, a second chef's kiss, just amazing beauty, like anything good that you could think about. Yeah, you go ahead and throw it at it. Because, look at this. When I throw items at these blocks, oh, this is real awkward. But it's broken still. They said they fixed these blocks. No. Alright, look, I swear this happens every single one of these Bedrock update videos, and I promise it was in the changelog, okay? It's not me. Based on the stuff we've checked out so far, you might not be able to tell that this is maybe one of the biggest updates since Bedrock 1.19. Now, I actually just made one of the biggest discoveries of all time. Look at this baby horse. If you give a hay bale this thing on Bedrock Edition and, you know, speed up its growth, you can do that on Java. The model slowly grows. What? This is, like, amazing. Lads, laddies, everybody, it pains me, it deeply hurts me to inform you about one of the best glitches of all time that is now gone in this Bedrock update. So here we have a potion with speed 2, and there we have a horse. If we go ahead and just speed 2 the horse, and then maybe speed 2 this other horse over here. Now you come with me. Hey.
No?
Alright, here we go. We get these horses together and then breed. How do you breed a horse? I mean, hey, look. It's not that I don't know this. It's just, look, you learn something new every day, right? For a long time, before this newest Bedrock update, you were actually able to give speed to horses and then breed those horses together. And the offspring of those horses would permanently have that speed effect, basically turning this horse into a faster horse than ever. Then you repeat the process again and end up with some kind of god horse. And unfortunately, it's all ruined. Listen, if you saw this video from a couple weeks ago, we talked about some updates coming in this update in 1.9.3, but definitely not all of them. In that video, we talked a little bit about pressure plate updates, or at least I think it was that one. So listen again. But you already knew about that one. Instead, a couple other sound updates inside of this update.
Listen.
So the buttons, but it doesn't stop there. The doors. And as far as I can tell, with the doors, every single normal wood type door is gonna sound the same as the oak one, so that's pretty cool. And then finally, last and definitely not least, wait a second, what's wrong with me? We'll go ahead and try that again. As you could maybe tell, these sounds are completely different, and the plank sounds, same with the planks. The thing with the bamboo planks is, well, actually we'll come back to that later. The thing with all of these sound changes in general is they're either bug fixes or parity fixes. All of these sounds are now identical to what they are on Java Edition. The buttons, the doors, and the planks. And I guess the pressure plates too. Bedrock 1.9.50 is a relatively big update for a lot of the nice quality of life changes inside of this thing, but by far, the biggest addition to Bedrock Edition in 1.19.50 is finally, 7 months later, spectator game mode. So, in your game, go ahead and type /game mode spectator, hit enter, and all of a sudden, you're gone, you're invisible. Here's a quick spectator rundown, in case you don't know about it. In spectator game mode, you're a spectator. Now, if things work just like they do on Java Edition, then things aren't necessarily loaded in near you, because, well, you don't really exist. Do you see this hill over here? Usually it's a solid hill, but in spectator mode, you can move right into that hill and move around. Spectator mode is very, very useful for looking through your world and trying to find things, especially things that aren't a structure, like, for example, maybe a monster spawner or some kind of big, gigantic cave for a build. In spectator mode, essentially, you're 100% a ghost. You see this block inside of the mortal world, like over here? Well, you can't interact with it. Everything inside of the current plane of existence, it doesn't exist. There is no block breaking, no block placing, none of that. Spectator mode is pretty similar to Java, but it's not exactly the same. On Java Edition, you can actually click on a mob, and then you become that mob. Like, you can see the vision of it and everything. Unfortunately, that functionality, that doesn't work over here. Another thing you could definitely do on Java, but can you do it on Bedrock? Well, check out this chest right here. Inside of the chest, I have some items. But that was in creative mode. What if I went ahead and moved things over to their brand new game mode? Inside of spectator mode, if we interact with this chest, unfortunately, we can't open it. You could definitely do that on Java too. The spectator mode Bedrock, if I try and check out the hotbar for some maybe useful tooltips, I press the key, and nothing's happening. That doesn't work either. Look, long story short here, the spectator mode is missing some functionalities, unfortunately, but it's pretty good. Like, it feels really, really smooth, beautiful, and I mean, in the bigger picture, it's just nice to have this over on Bedrock Edition. Maybe hardcore soon? I feel like we've been saying that longer than spectator even existed. Another change we briefly talked about before is this next one, and that's because this is a pretty big change. You should definitely know about this one. Inside of this update, Endermen are actually more dangerous. Their follow range has been buffed. In this update, when you make the Enderman a little bit angry, this is going to be a lot harder, or maybe even impossible, to just get away from this thing. Instead, you're going to need to take it out. As part of a parity change, the Enderman's follow distance has been doubled from 32 blocks previously to 64 blocks. Essentially, that all means that when you think you're really far away from this thing and there's no chance it'll be able to chase you and follow you, well, you're probably very, very incorrect, and the Enderman will eventually... Enderman, yeah. Hey, quick reminder to leave a like and double check. Make sure you're subscribed with all notifications on. Let's move on. Alright, so next up, let's roleplay a little bit. And by roleplay, for short, I mean RP. And by RP, I mean Ruin Portal. And by Ruin Portal, I actually just mean magma blocks underneath the water. Magma blocks, when they generate underneath the water, there was a problem with them. They weren't always generating these bubble columns. Now, in my opinion, when it comes to the ocean, the water in general, the bubble column is a pretty big part of this experience. It makes it more interesting. Like, you gotta watch out for these things and definitely not stop on top of them, especially if you got that chest bow, because if you do, you're going down. Basically, long story short with this one, magma blocks, any of them that could generate under the water, well, they had problems generating. The magma block would be there, but the column wouldn't. Now things should be a lot better. Throughout today's video, we've been taking a look at quite a bit of new features. For example, the bamboo planks, bamboo raft and stuff, and not the camel until now, but yeah, new features. Where are these things? Well, in a sense, they're actually kind of here. Inside of this update, the very first taste of 1.20 is included. Inside of the experimental section of the Create a New World screen, look at this beauty. Next major update. Try out new gameplay features that are in development for our next major update. Oh, heck yes, we will turn that on. 100%. And really quick, while we're at it, it didn't have to be that guy, but holiday creator features. Has this not been a thing for like 3 holidays at least now? At least. Now don't get too excited, because the next Bedrock update, 1.19.60, is actually already in development, and tucked inside of that update, there's even more changes to these wonderful new features. For example, that brand new block of bamboo, yeah, that's there. The piglin mob head thing, that's there. And even that note block mob head functionality and camel parity, all of those things are there too. But even then, 1.19.60, don't get too excited, because in the grand scheme of things, there are probably way more 1.20 features. At least hopefully. And these 1.20 features are part of 1.20, not Bedrock 1.19.60 or anything like that. Long story short though, you can definitely create a world with some of the 1.20 experimental features in the newest Bedrock update. And that's pretty cool. The piston is easily one of the most complex blocks in the entire game. I mean, pistons, sticky pistons, they can do so many different things. Because both the piston and the sticky piston are such complex blocks, there's a lot of bugs surrounding these things. Or at least there were. You see, inside of this update, finally, at long last, the piston, the sticky piston, they are 100%, that's right, 100% bug-free. Wait a second, that's not right at all. But what has actually happened is a lot of polishing work. Lots of bugs have been squashed, and the piston arm extending and retracting, it's a lot smoother now. Is that bottom part new too? Or has that always been here on Bedrock? I know I talked about it before, but like, this is a beautiful looking piston. That looks great. Fun fact, if you couldn't tell right now, I'm actually an iPad kid. That's right, I've been playing Minecraft all these years, including Java Edition, on my iPad. That is from like 2010, yeah. It's pretty crazy stuff. Even though I play on my iPad, and obviously, you know, it's like a touchscreen, you're just gonna have to trust me on this one, because I can't show you, but just trust me, touch controls. So many improvements have been made to the touch controls inside of this update. One that sounds absolutely beautiful is this one right here. Added toggle, delayed block breaking, creative only, and touch settings to control this functionality. Meaning, if you're playing creative and you're tired of accidentally breaking things, maybe go into settings and turn this thing on. This is all definitely to make Minecraft's newest, best, and most upcoming feature, the bundle. Is to make room for the bundle, right? Right? So, anyways, you know what they say. If you give a horse a saddle. So you know what they say. If you give a horse that is your friend a saddle, it will put that saddle on and keep that saddle on forever. You might know that they also say, if you give a horse that is your friend that has a saddle on it, to jump boost, or maybe swiftness as well, or heck, even both of them, if you give those things to your horse, then that horse, it is one fast and really, really jumpy horse. It's pretty great. That's the thing. At least that's what they say nowadays, because the jump boost effect and the swiftness effect, they're going to apply to rideable mobs correctly now. That supersonic strider that you've always dreamed of, well, it's possible now. And finally today, for the 15th big change inside of this update, dressing room, create character, select from character list, and the gang's all here now. Of course, we've got the classic Minecraft Steve and Minecraft Alex, but we've also got amazing new characters like F right there, Zuri, and Kai. It's amazing. Minecraft 1.19.50. Compared to the other updates that came after the release of 1.19 on Bedrock, this is one of the bigger ones, with a lot of different changes inside of it, and a brand new game mode too. I would like to send a big shout out patron gang, Archangel, Ground Crazy May, Hushdown34, and Bill Geek. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate you. If you haven't checked out the last updates video, 1.90.40, it's definitely time, because those updates are also inside of this update. Yeah, that's how that works. Thanks for watching, everybody. It's been me, Waddles. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.